What is poppin', everybody? Nathan Lombardo here with Lambo Media. Just to my right, my co-host Kai Murphy, and then across from us, Daniel the Jet Johnson. Our first guest of the new Wave Pod. Man, this is going to be a good one. Super laid back. We'll knock him out as much as we can during the off season. I know Kai's super busy. But Daniel the Jet Johnson, our first ever guest, a good one to have, to say the very least. The Jet, I'll just start off with that. How's the off season going so far? Here in the Valley.
Just treat me well, getting workouts in, keeping my body right for next year, so can't complain. Can't complain at all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate this thing good. Sorry, it's our first podcast.
Sure.
We're rubbing out the kinks, but we appreciate you coming on, bro. It's love. Part of this thing, like I said earlier, is just we want to tell some stories, not just be the run-of-the-mill podcast talking about like your stats and we'll definitely touch on a lot of baseball shit. We'll obviously like you can say whatever you want on here. It's gonna be laid back, but I just want to get into who is Jet. You know what I mean? And I'll let you kind of take over from here. Like for the people that may not know or need a little more insight, like tell us about Jet, how you grew up, maybe kind of like how that might have shaped you coming up in Cali and going to New Mexico State and that whole thing. So I'll let you take it away. Run us through that.
Well, I come from Vallejo, California. Small city, everybody know everybody. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of good people. SOB, Nefta Farrow, like Larry June went to my high school. Like it's a real small city. There's a lot of people out there. For me, I grew up, my family wasn't really into sports like that, so it was really just me. My mom, she did that, shit don't count. But, my family really wasn't really into sports like that, so it really just me. And I played everything. I played football, basketball, baseball. Every season once I played it, that's how it was. Really, I got good playing outside, honestly. We played outside every damn day. So it was a bunch of kids, that's how I got good at all the sports and everything.
How was that like? Was it different for you having a family that wasn't crazy into sports? I'm sure you had homies that we all see it, like the dad that is overbearing, pushing their kid to play every sport. You got to practice 20 hours a day. Obviously there's good to that, but was there good just having a family that kind of let you do your own thing and find what you like?
I would say in a way because I kind of did it on my own time. They wouldn't press me about play this, play that, do whatever. I would say not that I would rather have it the other way around, have somebody press me the whole time, but just have somebody some kind of support, hey, do this. Because the thing about it is when you going off and doing your own thing, at first your parents really don't support it because they don't see the vision. Yeah. They don't see the output. So it's why am I supporting? I'm gonna support it a little bit, but I ain't gonna do it until I see some progress. So it's really just you gotta do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. So and that's what I kind of did. My boy J.R. Davis back home, we played together since we was in Little League. So after all we all grew up, we had a bunch of friends. Once he kept growing up, we all kind of just parted ways. It was just me and him. We did the baseball shit together. So we worked out together for 10 plus years, bro. So
sometimes that's what it is, bro. I got some homies I got one homie, JD, right now. We grew up together. He went to Hamilton. But we played, I was at my crib yesterday looking at my dad. We have a cage, and it's kind of we have the cage, and then there's a bunch of memorabilia, all, old pics you've grown up, shit like that. And I looked at it, and it's me, Carson, Tucker, and JD, and we were 8 years old growing up, playing together. And then I think back, yesterday I was hitting with JD. We're flipping to each other in the cage, and he's with the Tigers now. But it's that's the dude I could call on, when I know it's a Sunday, everyone else is kind of just kicking it, whatever. I know I can call JD because he's trying to get it.
Exactly.
Hey,
you need that one person.
Let's go hit right now. Yeah. And I know no matter what he's got going on, he'll be all right, bet. Give me 20 minutes, but I'll be there.
Right.
And having someone like that is definitely. That's huge, bro. Game changer.
You can do it by yourself. It only goes so far. You have somebody else because y'all push each other. Even if you don't realize it, y'all push each other. Your presence being there, it's just okay. I want to outwork you, but I want you to do good stuff. I want to get this money too. Yeah. So it definitely.
I think that's the good part about, you guys and all baseball players in general, being here in the Valley in the off season. I want you to kind of expound on this point. Talk a little bit about the off season here in the Valley for, guys like you, and you can attest to this, Kai. What's it like? There's hundreds, thousands of, minor leaguers, big leaguers, and they're all just putting in work day in and day out. You guys mentioned before the pod, like 20 mutual connections, and I'm sure there's plenty more. Talk a little bit about ball here in the off season in the Valley.
Really, it's a lot of places to work out and everything, and like get your stuff done. But like really, at some point, you all end up coming to the same spots. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I first got here to Arizona, I had really only kind of knew Tuck, like complaining against him a lot. So I like Tuck, like, what's the place to work out? Like he was like, you can come to Fisher, like where I am, like. And I go there, it's Kevin Newman, Murph, Sam Haggerty, Kingery, all that. I'm like, oh, I know all these dudes. Like, okay, like, well, I played against, but I don't really know them. But off season really, you work out. Go lift, go hit, and then when you start doing baseball stuff, that's when you start seeing a lot more people too. Cause like, okay, let's go hit at this field, and then you see a group of 10 people. Like, oh, what's up? Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up? I see you. It's just. It's like that every time, and it's kind of growing more and more. Like every off season, you start meeting more and more people. Like it's crazy, right? But it's for me, like where I'm coming from. I didn't have these resources like when I was coming up. So like once I got here, I was like, damn, I'm not leaving. Like what's the point of going back to the Bay Area if I can't hit? Like I don't know where to work out. Like no like solidified place to do either or. So what's the point of me even going back there?
Right.
So being out here is just way better, bro.
How much has that benefited you? Because you go to these facilities to put in work, and you're surrounded by, all-stars, Cody Bellinger, other guys, Cole Tucker. Mm-hmm. How much has that benefited you being surrounded by those guys day in and day out, and, getting tips from them? Sure, you know your stuff, but there's shit you can learn from everybody.
Man, it changed my life, really. Like, I was kind of hesitant, about, like, moving out here full-time. Like, I was like, I want to buy a house, but I don't know if I want to buy one in Arizona. Like, I'm not really too familiar with this area, but, I'm close with Sam Haggerty, his family, so, talking to them, I was like, I'm going to do it, fuck it. And it changed my life, though, like, coming out here and learning from them, they learning from me, like, just kind of, speaking to other brains about everything, like, not just talking to all the guys in there, you know what I mean? Like, you learn stuff every day. So it changed my life, for real.
What does your off-season timeline kind of look like, as far as, taking breaks from throwing, giving your arm rest, and then, not only that, but transitioning into trying to stay level-headed on the offensive side when you can't do any live ABs because no pitchers are throwing. How do you stay kind of stable when it comes to that?
For me, like after the season, I take the month of October off, like just nothing, kind of let my body heal, no hitting, no working out. I kind of do like some stretching just to kind of get my body back to like equilibrium. Like, after the season, you all kind of fucked up. Like,
been turning this way, especially you lefty, right?
Yeah.
Been turning this way.
Just doing the same thing every day. You know what I mean? You need some time. Your body just chill a little bit, not doing nothing. You know what I mean? But I started hitting and working out November 1st. November 2nd, that's like the official day we start working out and everything like that. But it's like you when you go in the off season, you don't want to like start ramping up too quick. You know what I mean? I learned that. Like I learned early that like you trying to ramp up quick, start hitting immediately. Like you need some time like to rest. You do because you're playing for 7 months out of the year, so you need that time to really let your body heal. Kind of reset a little bit, like mentally too, like because that shit takes a toll on you. Like you have good years. I've had good years. I've had bad minor league years. Like and getting to the big leagues, like there's you gotta have a quick like basically, like turn the page real quick, like shit happened, fucking whatever, cool. Like next thing, what's next? Because it goes so fast. But for me, not having pictures or whatever. It's cool. You'll get them at something like we'll get them like in January, whatever. But like I know, like okay, like I only need like a couple weeks of seeing some live, seeing a ball come at me, then I'll be good for spring training. Like I'm not really worried about having it, in December. Like I'm gonna just hit the cage, just get my shit right, and then once I feel like I'm ready, okay, I'll go get some live ABs.
That's a good kind of segue into what I want to get into. Is like this is my first off season, really. This will be my first spring, and I was like, everyone's telling me, yeah, take a break, and I get it. But I'm also the type of dude that was like, all right, I'm ready to hit. I'm ready to go work out. And I think that's good. Like I'll never lose that. I'm the type of dude that wants to hit all the time and wants to work out all the time. But being around like my workout group at Apex with a bunch of guys that have been like Jamie's going into his 10th year in pro ball. Like that's crazy. Like crazy, bro.
He's a dog.
And he's a dog and he's family. Hopefully we'll get him on here one day. But having guys like him, Bob, and guys that you work out with, the guys that have been around and done it a long time, they kind of have helped me as a first year guy. Like, hey, I get it, but like you got 7 or 8 months coming up. Like, be smart. Exactly. You don't need to like long toss today, bro. Right. Like, like you don't need to go take 400 swings today. It's November 5th. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? So those guys have helped me a lot. And for me, the biggest thing, like I've learned so much from asking questions, bro. Like these dudes definitely get tired of it. But I ask Bob 20 hitting questions a day, bro. Just because it's like, for me, being able to get comfortable asking questions is a game changer. You learn so much. How could I be around these type of people? Like, even being around you, asking questions. Like, why wouldn't I ask questions?
Right, yeah. Close out and get paid, man.
You got the resource right here. Like, you gotta want it enough to ask questions. Exactly. So, I guess what I'm getting at is like, what are some questions you've had to ask, or what are some things that guys have shared with you in the past that you were like, damn, I would have never thought of that, or like, I'm glad I reached out and asked this dude who's been in my shoes, been through something that I'm going through right now. How is that kind of maybe at Fisher or like in an organization? Just the power of asking questions, really.
I talk to CC Sabathia like a lot because we're from the same hometown. So I've talked to him so much because he came up with the Cleveland too. Like we both got to the big league with the same team. So talking to him, like I didn't really, when you first get to an organization, like you don't really understand what's going on. Like you kind of knew, like you get the lower levels, but once you start getting to the 40-man roster and to the big league, you start seeing the business of it. You start seeing how they really operate. And I didn't know that, so I was all new to this. I didn't know what was going on. So
you're just trying to
I was trying to play. I was trying to play. I was focused on trying to get a hit, whatever, and play good in this game. So, like I said, you start seeing how they move, and like I'm talking to CC, I'm like, yo, like when you was here, like was it like this? He was like, yeah, but like it's the business of baseball. Like you starting to see it, like, but you gotta kind of play the game a little bit. You gotta look out for yourself. You can't just you only got so much leverage to to do certain things, to say certain things. You know what I mean? So, I pick this brain every day. Like here's a guy I talk to a lot. I mean, I learned from like guys like Jose Lindor, like Carlos Santana. Like I would ask them all kind of baseball questions. Like they would just come talk to me. Like, yo, what do you feel? Like, what do you It's really I talked to them a lot about like approaches to the game. Like it wasn't nothing really like mechanical when it came to baseball. It was all approach, like your mindset, because knowing the game is gonna make you that much better. Like talent, you can go a long way with talent. Don't get me wrong, a lot of guys do, but when you know the game, it makes you that much more better. Because then you can execute certain shit that you couldn't do if you didn't know. You know what I mean? So, I don't really know specific questions that I asked CC. It was just whatever came to mind at that point in time. You know what I mean? Like it was like kind of like having like a mentor at the time.
Yeah.
Like whatever's on my mind, I'm like, hey, like how like, but.
That's what I found, bro. Not to cut you off, but like that's what I found with. I was having breakfast this morning, and I was telling somebody about it. I was like, the most successful people, like CC, for example, he's done it. You know what I mean? Like I got nothing else to prove.
Exactly.
He wants to give you that information. He's looking for he's looking for a young dude to come up to him and be like, hey man, like how'd you do this? Or you know what I mean? He's looking to give out some of the keys because he's already done it. He made his money, whatever. Exactly. And that's what I try to tell everyone that's kind of in my shoes that, is around maybe like you go to spring training, you might see a big leaguer like, hey bro, I know at the same time you got to keep your mouth shut and, work your way up. But that dude is willing to give you an answer if you have a question. Like, if you got a real question, like he'll give you an answer. He'll sit down. I don't know how many people I went out of my way. Hey, can I get his number? Hey man, can I ask you some questions? They're like, hell yeah. It's off season. I ain't doing nothing. Like, I love this off season
because like for them, like it wasn't like some dudes I don't know how it was for a lot of guys, but I would say more often than not, it wasn't easy getting to the big leagues. Some dudes get a red carpet, like they do.
Yeah.
But for the majority of dudes, like, it was not easy, and they had to ask questions. They probably wish they would have asked questions. You know what I mean? Like, wish they would have did. Looking back, I wish I would have asked questions. Asked him when I had the chance to, you know, because he could have shown me something that maybe I would have known. Like, because it's always whenever you get to the point, like to the top level, it's like, damn, like, if I'd have known this when I was 21, it's always that. So it's like, so you doing good, you asking questions. So now when you get there, you're like, oh, I'm glad I asked all these questions. So now you're gonna know at an earlier age, okay, how to go about how to act a professional on the field, off the field, you know, whatever the case may be. But I mean, even myself, when I got to the show, I was like, yo, I wish I would have, when I was at the National, I wish I would have asked Harper a bunch of questions, asked Scherzer a bunch of questions. I was just like sitting there chilling. But that's how I came up there. Like, where I'm from, you know, I don't go out of my way. Like, I mean, I'm cool. I'm just chilling, doing my own business. Like, I'm observing, but I'm not going to talk to somebody.
There's a line between,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
You're the new guy. Don't say too much. Don't step out of line.
And I talk to people. I have no problem talking to nobody. But I mean, for me, I'm just, you know, chilling. Like, I'm on my business. But I mean, I wish I would have asked some questions, you know, like. And so once I got to Cleveland, I was always asking Hosey, like Santana. I was cool with Clevenger. Like, I talked to all these dudes. Like, hey, like, how'd y'all navigate through here? Like, because I'm new here. Like, you know, what's the deal?
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
With that being said, I mean, you know, you being in your position, there's a whole bunch of kids in, you know, middle school, high school, college ball, even in the minors, that haven't experienced as much as you.
Right.
What would be your 2 to 3 tips for a young guy coming out of high school trying to get recruited? What would be those 2 or 3 tips that you would give to them?
For me, I would say never take no for an answer, because I was always told no. Like, I was a real late bloomer. Like, I was the smallest one. Like, it like from when I was younger. Looking now, I would have never thought I'd have been here, ever. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm the smallest dude. Like, I'm not going, you know, there's no way. It's just like, let me be real with myself. But I'm here now. So it's like, I never take no for an answer. I mean, you got to be able to market yourself too. Like, that's a big thing. Like, especially for like, if it's like an inner city kids or, you know, wherever you're from, if it's like a school you go to that's not big, there's no scouts come in there, like, you know how to market yourself. You do. Like, when I was in high school, my senior year, bro, I probably emailed every college coach, bro. Like, I was sending out hundreds of emails a day, like, just marketing myself, like a little skills video, like sending my stats out, because I didn't have scouts coming to my games at all. My school wasn't known for any like kind of big time sports at all. So that's the main thing I would say. Never take no for an answer. Market yourself. I mean, ask questions. You know what I mean? And that's all you really can do.
That resonates with me because I used to do the same thing. I remember sophomore year, junior year came around. It's like, all right, I'm taking this serious. Like, I obviously I want to do this. I know I can, but I wasn't getting no calls. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Especially me. I was tiny. I was small, whatever. And emailing coaches, just like, some people wouldn't even email. I remember I was a kid. I wanted to go to USC so bad.
I want to go to Oregon so bad.
I emailed them, never heard back.
Right.
All this stuff, I was so pissed. He didn't email me back. I forgot who the coach was at the time, but he didn't email me back. Are you shitting me? Blah, blah, blah. And now looking back, it's like, it all worked out. But for people that don't know, bro, like, I'd love to hear kind of, you know, I know a little bit of your story coming up in high school and college and what happened, but I'd love to hear just kind of your side of events of, like, what happened. Obviously, the knee thing, big thing in college. Just kind of walk us through that for anyone that doesn't know, and also kind of what you took away from that, like, going forward, how that experience really kind of shaped you and what it taught you and what you took from it. Yeah,
so I didn't really, in high school, I didn't even play summer baseball that much. I played basketball. So I played probably 1 year of summer baseball in high school. It was always AAU basketball. That was my thing. So I went to my senior year. I was like, okay, I want to play baseball. Like that. This is sport that wants to get me to the next level. Like, I'm not gonna play. I'm not hooping in college. There's no way. I'm 5'7" at the time. Like, there's no way. So.
No, I hooped in high school. I wish I still could. I was thinking about yesterday. It's my favorite sport.
I was 5'7". I was 57 pounds. I was like, I'm not on anybody's hoop team in college. Like, let's be real. So, so I was playing with NorCal. So this little like.
Rob Bruno.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I was playing with NorCal because I grew up with Willie Calhoun too, so he kind of put me onto that. And I was playing with them. We went to the Arizona Fall Classic out here. It was in Peoria.
Yeah.
This is 2000. 12 or 13 when I was my senior year. So we played like a little showcase, play all the games or whatever against different teams. It was the last day, and it was, I think we used our last pitcher. We had one more inning, and I was like, I'll pitch. Like, whatever, I'll do it. Struck out the whole side, like, and they all like, what the fuck, like, who? But I wasn't pitching, I just threw the ball hard.
Yeah.
So, I go back home and I get like a little email like from New Mexico State, like a coach, like a pitching coach. I'm like, oh shit, like, this is like an offer or whatever, like, you know, but it was like a preferred walk-on type thing. So he was like, yeah, we want you to come out here and come to New Mexico State in the fall, like as a walk-on. We want you to pitch. I'm like, I'm not a pitcher, bro. I'm an outfielder. Like I just did it just cuz. Like he was like, really? I was like, yeah. He was like, well, you were sitting at like 94, 95. I'm like, I get it, but I'm an outfielder. Like I'm not a pitcher. I just throw the ball hard. So I ended up going to Mexico State because I had no other offers. I'm like, I had nothing. Like there was some JUCOs in Cali. I'm like, I'm not going to JUCO. Yeah. So I go to Mexico State, but they had like 90 guys there in the fall. So I get like to like the last cut. They end up cutting me. I go to JUCO in Oklahoma, NEO, Northeastern Oklahoma. That's what I was having, like Ramon Ariano's on my team, Dean Dietz, Jake Jewell, like they were all guys that play pros now. I went there, got there like February, had like a little like inter-squad game, was running the bases, fucking, felt my knee kind of pop a little bit. I'm like, damn, I don't know. Tweaked it a little bit, so I was iced it, whatever. Played the whole season. Got to the regionals, like the little playoffs in JUCO, they do that, and I laid a bunt down, and I was running on the first base. The pitcher was kind of fast, like faster than I thought, so I kind of tried to juke him. Took a step, jab step, went down again. I'm like, damn, something's not right, like, because my knee had been hurting the whole season. I just didn't think it was that bad. So I went down, came home, went to the MRI. I was like, yo, like you had a torn ACL, like you got a meniscus, like MCL, like it was my knee was fucked up. Like he was like, when did you? He's like, how long? At least like you got like a bunch of like cartilage floating around. Like it's been ACLs have probably been torn for a minute, like or like partially torn. He's like, how long have you been playing? I played the whole season. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, like I didn't know. He's like, damn, like you got some strong legs and to be able to do that because you're playing outfield. Most guys can't play the outfield like with a partially torn ACL. Right. So played the whole time. But when I got cut from New Mexico State, the plan was for me to go to the JUCO and then come back for my sophomore year in New Mexico State. So I remember this to this day because like that decision that I made was like it was ballsy, but I did it and it worked out. So I'm at home. I got this big ass brace on my leg and I'm sitting on the bed. And one of my teammates from Mexico was like, "Yo, did you hear what just happened?" I'm like, "What you talking about?" The whole coaching staff got fired. I'm like, oh, like I'm supposed to go back to New Mexico. The whole staff is fired. What am I gonna do? And that's when they hired Green. So I gave him Green like a week. Called him, like Green, this so-and-so. It's Daniel Johnson. I was under the previous coach. He playing with me to go to JUCO, come back. Like I got torn ACL, so I can't do nothing in the fall. Right. So he hit me back. Said, "Yeah, what up, DJ? Like you can still come out. You know what I mean? Like rehab, whatever." He told me to come. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. Fuck it. Like there's no guarantees. Like it's a whole new coaching staff. He can cut me, whatever, and I'm back to square one. So I still went. I worked out, I rehabbed the whole fall. I came back in like 5.5 months. Like I was on go every day. I was 3 hours a day I was rehabbing. So played the sophomore year in the Green, made the team that year. Had an okay year, first year D1, whatever. And then I went to like a little summer league, a prospect league. Yep. And that's where like, so he was teaching me how to kind of his hidden philosophy the whole sophomore season. And kind of just, it was clicking, but it was inconsistent. It just wasn't really like, I remember I was back home and I was hitting I went to the summer league, and I took a swing at my hit and I was like, I think I figured it out. Like, I think that's what it is. That's it. I got it. So I went to the summer league, got MVP the whole league. Like, so after that, stuff really started clicking. Like, and it was going so fast. Like because none of the like, you know how you go in college and like you got like, oh, like he's a predicted freshman All-American. He's predicted this. Like maybe a first round pick next year. You know. I didn't know who I was. Yeah. So we go, I come back from my junior year, we have one of those little pro days. So scouts come out, whatever, ran the 60s, threw from the outfield. And so I had never done any of these forever. So I had no idea like what to even go off of.
Right.
I had no idea how fast I am, how hard I throw. I just know I can run, I can throw the ball hard.
Yeah.
So we run 60s. I run a 6'3" flat, like moving. I'm like, holy shit, like, I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So, and then I get to the office in right field. They're like, yo, just let it eat. Like, I don't really care. Like, I don't want you to kind of be accurate, make a perfect throw, let it eat.
Yeah.
All right. So, throw it first. And the guy, he's just like, looking like, do it again. He's like, come here. Do it again. He's like, they all like laughing. I'm like,
it's either good or bad.
I'm fucking up. Like,
Yeah. Can only be.
And so he's like, one more, let it eat. I'm like, all right. I threw it fucking over the dugout to the parking lot. Just let it like line like man.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, you threw that ball 103. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah. Like, he's like, where have you been? I'm like, I've been here. I don't know what I'm going to say. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
But honestly, even then though, like, because I was so new to everything, I lacked so much knowledge of, like, about the whole draft process, about all of that stuff, and I didn't know. So even going into the season, like, I really didn't chip off the whole draft because I didn't know. So I was just playing like I just wanted to play. So and I think that helped me because you know how hard that's gonna be. Like, you know what I mean? Like you it's your junior, you know it's your draft. You pressing, you know, trying to. So I was just playing.
Yep.
And after that pro day, like I started the season, whatever. Like stuff started happening so fast, and I started getting good really fast. Like within that year, it went from not being known to being ranked number 1 in New Mexico, being hitter of the month in the NCAA. Like it was crazy. Like I think I was 4th in the nation in hits that year. Like it was just boom, boom. I'm like, damn. And I remember I asked because when I came out to play GCU in our conference. All the regional scouts are here from every organization. So I had meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, like before and after the games. Like, having to ask the scout, I was like, yo, like, I don't know about this whole draft thing. Like, no, I'm not going to like top 20 rounds. He was like, top 20 rounds? I'm like, he's like, no. I'm like, damn, where am I? He's like, no, you're going to like top 5. Like, I'm like, oh, it's like that. Like, it's like that. I'm like, so I'm going to go back to my teammates and I'm like, what are they saying in the projection? I'm like, they said top 5. And it was like, really? I'm like, according to them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, after that, I mean, had a good season with All-American and all that. Like, and then draft day came. I remember Nationals call. It was crazy because like I was getting calls from like Red Sox, like Rockies, like all these teams, and then I get a call from Washington. I'm like, hello, like, hey, this is National. We want to take you in the 5th round. Like, would you take so much money, whatever? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know how to negotiate all this. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So when I put the phone down, I was watching my wife. I was at home by myself. My mom had to take my sister to a field trip. She was chaperone.
Gotcha.
So I was by myself. I'm getting a bunch of texts. Oh, like, hey, what's the word? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to, I don't know anything, no much as you do. And so Green texted me, like, yo, like, anything like I'm supposed to be getting taken by the Nationals in like 4 picks.
Right.
He was like, all right. I remember it was watching the computer. It was like ID number. So it sounded like he was going to jail almost. It was like ID Johnson.
The automated voice.
I was like, it was an actual dude. Like,
it was a dude.
He was like ID reading a little card.
Yeah.
ID 85031 whatever.
Right.
Johnson, Daniel, New Mexico State. And I was just like, it happened. Like, like
crazy.
And I'm just pacing back and forth to the house like, yo, I just got drafted. Like, yo, it's crazy. But I mean, it was a long journey, but I wouldn't want it any other way because it really, like, I got tested so much, it really made me who I was. Like,
100%.
Never taking no for an answer, just kind of like, making a ballsy move to go under a new coach back to the same school that I got cut from. Like, that's a ballsy move. People ain't doing that. Like, a lot of people would have folded, like, in certain situations that I was in. But, like I said, I wouldn't want it any other way because that really, going through all of that, like, really made me find out who I was as a man. Like, not even baseball, just in life. Because I could have folded a lot of times, but I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just keep going.
I feel like, not to make it about me, but I went through a similar experience where I went to high school, ended up committing to Oregon State. Mm-hmm. And without telling the whole story, like basically, they won the national championship when I was like a junior or senior. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this is my dream school, bro. Like, I'm going. We're gonna win a natty. I'm gonna get drafted. Like, the stars are aligning, right?
Right.
Long story short, I get there. Things don't work out. I'm a pitcher. Like, I'm starting to pitch. I'm like, no, I'm an outfielder. Like, what you mean? Anyways, I leave, and it's quarantine. COVID happens, quarantine. So it's like, I'm in the portal. I can't even like go work out for people. I'm just like stuck in the house. Like,
So how that work the portal? Like you can't even.
So I left. I drove home from Oregon with JD, the homie I was telling you about. We drove home, packed our shit in my car, drove home, called the coaches. Hey man, you know it's not gonna work out. Thank you for everything. Not to mention, so I committed to a coach when I was there, Pat Casey. I get on campus, first week I'm there, the whole staff leaves.
Oh no.
So they get the new staff that's there now.
They
But
want to bring. They can clean house. They want to clean house. You know what I mean?
that type of thing. Right. So it was like, you know, we'll have you around, blah, blah, blah. But after the first year, me and a bunch of other freshman guys that came in, we were like, we know what it is. Like, we're just going to get out of here. So we enter the portal. And usually like that, you can call coaches. They can call you whatever. Like, you can go work out. But it was quarantine. It was March, April 2022 or 2020. So I was just chilling, bro. So Green called me a couple times. He was at Washington State. A couple coaches called me, but for whatever reason, I was like, I want to go to ASU. Like, hometown kid. I got two little brothers. I got a pops. He had a heart attack actually, so he's still alive. But all around that time, so I'm like, hey man, I kind of want to stay home. But I'm like, when are they gonna call? Like, you know, I'm a hometown kid. You guys know who I am. Like,
You know I'm in the portal. Like you know.
every day I'm checking the phone. I'm like, they ain't calling. But
Right.
so finally, I think I called the head coach Smith or Greenspan, one of the two. But I was like, hey man, like, you know, I was hoping you guys called me, but like, here I am. I'm calling you. What's the deal? And they're like, hey Kai, like we know who you are, blah, blah, blah. We got like 8 or 9 outfielders coming back, you know, the COVID thing's going on, everyone's gonna get their year back, so like all our guys, the draft's only 5 rounds this year, so we would have lost like, you know, however many guys, but we're really only gonna lose 2 guys. So I'm looking at them like, damn, like, you know, so-and-so, they're like, hey man, like, we're gonna have 9 outfielders, but you know, you're welcome to try out. So I was like, give me a jersey. Like, I don't care. It was 43. They gave me 43, by the way, which bad number. But I go, I'll be there first day of school. You just give me a number. You don't even got to give me a locker, whatever. Just give me a number and I'll fucking make it work. And long story short, made it work. Had a great fall. Ended up starting the next 2 years. But what it taught me was like, just like your situation, like betting on yourself. Not only does it teach other people about you, it teaches yourself about you. Like, you go put yourself against that wall and find out what happens. And
You could have said no. You're like, I'm gonna go to another school. They called. You said no. I'm gonna go ASU.
could have took the safe route in a lot of spots. Just like you, I'm sure you could have took the safe route in a lot of spots. Like, you know, these people are gonna set me up. It might be a lesser school, whatever. But doing that, I took it away. That was like one of the biggest things I've ever taken away, and I live with that. Like, every step I take, bro, remember that happened. Like, and so I guess for you, like, what did you learn from that experience of you're back against the wall? Like, it was kind of do or die for you, right?
Really,
Like, going back to New Mexico State was probably like a do or die situation.
yeah, because it was like, I mean, I could have went back to the JUCO. They were like, yo, like, because they apologized to me at the JUCO because I kept telling them like, oh yeah, my knee was hurting whenever they did. But when I told them what happened at the MRI, they were like, yo, I'm so sorry, like, that's our fault. Like, you can come back like to JUCO again for your sophomore year, you know, full scholarship, all things. I'm like, that's cool. I don't want to, like, I want to go play Division I because I know I can. Like, so me going like testing the waters and doing that and then working out. I'm like, yo, like, why not do this more often? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and for me, like, I was always kind of so nonchalant. Like, I just, like, when shit happened, I was just like, all right, it is what it is. Like, it was like, what's next? Because, like, think about it, like, when shit happened, like, the only thing you can control is how you react to it. So I can't change the outcome because it already happened. The only thing I can do is really, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Instead of like, beating myself up, okay, let me figure out how I can make this work. So, you mean, I really think like testing the waters and making those decisions by yourself, like, not only teach you a lot about yourself, but also you grow so much. Like you be in tune with yourself so much more because you really, it's taking upon yourself to do this. And anybody telling you to make the decision, you do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So once you do it and you see what happened and you going through that process and you getting all this experience, just like it's just really, you really grow a lot. Like you grow up fast. Like I grew up fast. I didn't have a choice. Like, cause I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I wasn't like, Mom, should I? What you think? I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then it made me grow up real fast, but like in a good way.
During those, my bad.
You good.
During those 3 or 4 years of college ball, I mean, you mentioned that you went to New Mexico State, went to a JUCO, and then went back to New Mexico State, and did rehab. Actually got cleared in 5.5 months, which is super
crazy.
fast for what you're going through.
Crazy.
During those ups and downs of college ball, how were you able to stay mentally level-headed, and how were you mentally during that time?
I mean, that's a good question. Because for me, like coming where I come from, like I knew I didn't want to go back there. So when I was there, I was like, hey, like either you're gonna do this, or you can go back to Vallejo, California. And I'm like, hell no, like I'm not going back home. Like like what's there for me? You know what I mean? Like there's nothing there for me at all. Like I go back now once or twice for holidays to see my family. That's it. Like, I don't go back there because I don't want to be in that same environment that I was in. Like it's not. I would have killed to be able to be from here, like, and have all this shit. Like, fuck, like, I didn't have none of that. So, being there, I was like, man, it's either this or nothing. Like, so, I mean, this ain't ideal, obviously, but this is what you're working with, bro. Let's make the most of this. Rehab, get yourself right, like, and then he'd give you an opportunity. The thing about it is, like, it was a point in time where I was kind of like just going through the motions. I'm like, rehabbing, whatever. Like I knew I had the tools to play, but I knew I couldn't play at that moment because I was still hurt. So I was just like, day by day, but still getting my shit into all I could do.
Yeah.
But I remember to this day, Green told me something. He was like, yo, you're like a toolbox. You have all these tools in there, but you have no idea how to use them. And I was like, and it stuck with me to this day. Like I'll never forget that. And I was like, I got all these tools. Basically saying like I'm a really good player, I just don't know what I'm doing. Like you just need to really know the game, and you'll watch how fast you get good. And so, I mean, at that point, he believed in me more than I believed in myself. He did. Like, and when he said that, I was like, yo, like this dude sees something in me that I don't even see right now. Like, so I had to look in the mirror one time, like, yo, like you could do this, but you got to do it. Like, you got to be willing to go through all this shit you got to go through, though.
Yeah.
And so I took that challenge, and
That's fire, bro. There's those like moments we've all had. Like looking in the mirror, going like, even I remember going through my time at A2 where there's so many like, in the fall, there's 9 outfielders. You're wearing number 43. Like, why didn't you just go so-and-so where they told you you're gonna play center every day? You're gonna hit 3-hole and play center every day. But there's those times where you look in the mirror and it's like, I always used to say before I go to hit, you can eat or you can starve, like Lil Baby said. But it sounds corny, but like,
it's true.
It's true, and you have those moments where there's people, sometimes other people believe in you more than you did, or sometimes it's the other way around, where some of my best times are when no one believed in me, and I had to get it. But kind of overall, like the reason I wanted to do this, and bro, I was hesitant at first, like I didn't know if I wanted to do the whole like podcast, put it out there, like I'm still playing right now, like it's a lot, but it's like hearing the things that you're talking about and what we're talking about now, it's like, it's not just baseball people that can look at this and learn something.
This is life lessons.
It's life lessons. And we're blessed that we play baseball or other people play sports where you learn this shit, where it's like you're learning these life lessons and they're universal, bro. Everyone in the world is learning these things. They learn it at different times. But my goal for this podcast and stuff is like, you can be an accountant across the country and listen to this and learn something from you about when your back's against the wall and you got it's either this or this. Like that's the beauty of social media these days, and the world is like, in my opinion, like you look you look at dudes like Kobe or the greats, like they took stuff from Kobe would read like a tennis book and apply it to his game.
Mindsets.
And that's all it is, bro. Like if you can touch on that, like for me, like I said, the asking questions stuff, but I'll watch a podcast with some random like historian or some, random ass dude, and I'm always like, how can I take that and apply it to my life or apply it to my game? Is there any? Are you like that? Are you kind of like searching for podcasts, searching for books?
Yeah,
like,
so I didn't read a lot, but like knowing Sam Haggerty, being close to him, like he gave me some books, and I'm like, damn, man, I actually kind of like this book.
Yeah.
But before I could be wide awake, I would open the book, I'd be like,
Yeah.
like I mean, I just couldn't do it. But I mean, I watch a lot of podcasts though, like Gilly Wallow. I watched them a lot, and I watched like a lot of like different like they'd have like a bunch of artists on there, rappers on there. Like I remember I was watching a Roddy Ricch one. He said something, and I was like, damn, like that, because I'm a big music person.
Yeah.
He was like, what people don't understand is like when they put out his first album, like and it's like a crazy good album, like they expect that every single time. It's like that artist, that person you had on that album, you're not gonna get that the next time, because when he came out, like the situation was totally different. Like on that first album, he had something to say, like, and now that he's cool, okay, now he can start rapping about, he can have fun with it now. But that first initial album, that got him out where he was coming from. That got him out of there.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna get that same person again. Like that's a one thing, one time thing. That's why you see some of the artists that come in with that first one, like, damn, why ain't do it again? He can't do that again. Like that was real pain that he was sharing. Like now he's good now. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like that just goes like a lot in life though. Like once you go through certain challenges, whether it be early when you was little, or even now, like you ain't gonna be like that person you are in that situation. It probably gonna be you again in 5 years. Right. I mean, it's just who you was right then and there, because this is what's going on. You know what I mean? So I took that and I was like, damn, that makes sense, because like people also don't realize, like, yeah, I play sport, whatever. They see all the lights and glamour, all that. I ain't too much different than none of y'all. I'm as good at the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you good with the camera. You good with I can't do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like we all have stuff in common. We do.
No doubt, bro.
But society is like, oh nah, they're athletes, they're this and me, and no, I'm not shit. I just play baseball.
Exactly.
I'm still a person at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it definitely like these podcasts, people all over can really. I mean, I can learn stuff from a lawyer. Like I'm not even interested in that, but he might say something. I'm like, oh, like
yeah, bro. That people think I'm crazy. I'm like, I'll watch. Talking about like Wallow, I'll watch like a King Von interview where it's like two opposite sides of the world, but I'll pick something up about King Von, like that he said about just his work ethic or his grind or like what he's about. And it's like,
and you're like, oh, I think that same way.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We all have stuff in common. We not them as if we just good at different things.
Yeah, crazy.
They can rap.
What it made me think of it while you're saying that. Like we talked about Jamie, for example. He's been in pro ball for 10 years.
Right.
Like. So I've always been, the question I want to ask Jamie is like, when he was coming up, he had certain motivations and dreams when he was 18. Now he's in his 10th year. Like we said about Roddy Ricch, he can't have the same like motivations and dreams 10 years from now. Like there's got to be something different. Like, so for you, what we talked about kind of getting out of your spot in Cali, like that was your motivation in college and kind of coming up. Now that you've been in pro ball for a while and you kind of seen it for what it was and everything, like what's the things right now that are getting you out of bed? Like, all right, let's go to the gym. Let's go hit. What's your kind of like? Has it changed? It could be the same.
I would say some stuff is the same. I would say back then it was. I just wanted to get there because I knew that I could play at that level. You know what I mean? I didn't really care about like what else is going on. Like I just wanted to do that one thing. And I mean, I was 18 at the time, so I mean, I really didn't have responsibilities like that. I was just baseball. Like, I wanted to be good at the sport because I knew I could play, like, and I knew I had the tools to do something. So that got me out of bed when I was young. Now it's just like me being the best version of myself. Because it's been like 9-10 years. You know what I mean? I'm going on my 8th year pro ball right now. So, you know, I'm being able to get to the top level, which most people don't even reach. Like, I mean, every morning I just kind of want to be the best version of myself, be the best person I can be, the best player that I can be. Like, I'm not worried about what that person doing, I want to just focus on myself. You know what I mean? So for me, that motivation for me is just getting out of bed every morning. Hey, be the best version of yourself today. You know what I mean? Like whether that's baseball or just in life. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, and also loving the game too gets me out of bed too. But I mean, for me, like I enjoy, you know, now that I've been through all this stuff, I enjoy the process of like the ups and downs. Like you could, because the thing about it is you could be grinding, but you got to be able to enjoy it at the same time, because at some point we can't play this no more. You can't, like it's just how it is. It's gonna be at some point they're gonna say, "Hey, bro, you too old." Like, so yeah, you can definitely grind, be the best version of yourself, but at the same time you gotta enjoy the shit, because it can be taken fast. Like shit, reality can, you know what I mean? Like it go from, like for me, I was in the big leagues 2020, 2021. Next year, I was DFA, back in the minor leagues. Like that shit, like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, yo, and last year was one of my toughest years, but really, like I never gave up. I was like, okay, like if I can go through that year, like with all that shit that happened, like I could never do anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, yeah, like when I got home, I was like, you know what, like yeah, it was hard, but I think my attitude and how I reacted to it made it not enjoyable, but easier to get through, because I was enjoying the process of that. Okay, this is happening. This is not ideal. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like when I was in Mexico, this ain't ideal. I'm hurt, but only that I control is how I react to this. So why not still be a good teammate? Why not, you know? Cause I'm still working on myself at the same time.
Yeah.
So
that's something I've been thinking about lately, is like having those experiences. And back in the day when something like shitty used to happen, it used to be the end of the world. Right. When you're younger, I mean, it happens. Everyone's like that. But now being able to go through those experiences, and now it's like something happens today, I almost have the mindset, like you were saying, like I've been through bad things. Like, and usually the bad stuff is a precursor for something great's about to happen.
Yeah, it can always be worse too. That's how I say it can always be worse.
Always.
Like, thing like this game is like, yeah, it's pressure, but like it's pressure because you care, because you want to do good. But it's really no pressure.
Right.
The pressure is people who don't know where they're gonna live the next day.
Exactly.
With their next meal. Like, no matter what happened in this game, if I get 4 hits or no hits, I'm gonna go to my house, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna eat good after that. Like, that's no pressure. That's just pressure because you care. You want to do good, which is fine, yeah. But it's no, you know, I mean, it could always be worse. Yeah, it could always be worse.
Good stress. No doubt.
Sure.
No doubt.
Talk to me a little bit about, you know, you mentioned being in the bigs in 20 and 21. And the next thing you know, you get DFA'd. We already talked about, you know, your mental mindset and your headspace, you know, throughout college ball. How were you during those times after finding out that you're getting DFA'd after doing, you know, pretty well in the bigs? Talk to me a little bit about where your headspace was at, and then, you know, after getting that notice, you telling yourself where you want to be and knowing where you want to be. What's your next step after that?
So I mean, after that DFA process, it hurt a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was mad for like a minute, like, because the situation over there with Cleveland, like, I mean, there's like no solidified guys out there, so I was like I know every person who gets to the show, they work their ass off, and I respect that 100%. But my thing is, if, you know, I'm playing good in minors and I get to the show, like, why can't I get that same opportunity? I just want a fair chance.
Right.
I'm not saying give me a fucking extension, like, just give me that fair chance. And I didn't get it. It is what it is. But I was mad for a minute though, like, just because I had given him everything I had, like, gave him everything, like, they do this, they send you down, whatever, or they kind of delay you a little bit. I was like, okay, cool. I just kept playing my game, kept my head on, playing my game. It was just forcing hands multiple times. Gave him everything that I had, and still didn't work out. I'm like, God damn, like what else do I need to do? Like, what do you want me to do?
Right. Because
I don't know. I'm giving you like my last breath. I don't hear. Didn't work out. But at that point too, I also like, I mean, I had to look myself in the mirror, like, yo, like, it's motherfuckers who ain't gonna get to the show.
Right.
At the end of the day, like, yeah, it didn't work out for you, but hey, this ain't the first time it happened. It won't be the last time it happened. Like, and this ain't this. I mean, it's a down moment for me, but it won't be my last down moment. Right. So I had to really self-reflect and like sit down and kind of like, okay, like, this happened. Like, all right, okay, now what's next? Like, you have to be mad, or I can just keep going.
I think that's something to be said about, like, if you got something for guys. There's, like you said, you're not gonna be the first guy to get DFA or the last guy. Like, I know a lot of guys that have gone through similar process, and even younger guys that, like, for me, I've been lucky that I've been around the game a good amount to know, like, business is business in baseball.
Yeah.
And I have, even when you feel like you might be getting fucked or like, you know, whatever, you should be, basically long story short is like, thankfully I'm smart enough to know you can't play GM when you're playing.
Right.
And I've heard that from guys.
The moment you try to, it's just gonna fuck with your head every single day. Every time you do it, you just gotta.
What do you got for guys like maybe going through that DFA process, or even in the minor leagues where, man, I'm hitting 300 and, you know, the dude ahead of me is hitting 220, but he was drafted, he got way more money than me, and like, he's gonna play type thing, you know what I mean? Like, what, you got anything for guys like that going through, like, you know, those business battles in the minor leagues?
I mean, I would say you gotta keep going because, like I said, things happen so fast, all of a sudden in this game, you know. But really, I would just say you just gotta keep playing. Like, you know, and even when it's not going your way, you know, still be that good guy though. Like, you know, I mean, have good energy, you know, around the clubhouse. Like, because for me, like, when I had got DFA last year and I was in AAA and I was with all the younger guys, I'm like, man, like, you know what I mean? I was just in the show, like, why? But the thing about it is, like, those guys still looked up to me. Cause they're like, bro, you got to the show. Like, we saw you play, you was doing good. Like it happened, but like, bro, like we still look up to you. And I can't be that asshole like, in the locker room because what they do to me, nothing. Right. Like, I can't sit here being mad at the world and, you know, motherfucking everybody because I'm mad about what the GM did. You know what I mean? They did nothing to me, so I can't be that dude. Right. So, I mean, for the guys that like that don't make it, like or a little bit delayed, whatever, like, you got to keep going. Like, you got to keep that same mindset of, hey, like, I'm a play, and I play till I can't play. Be the best version of yourself, because once you feel like you're at that point, like, damn, it'll change like that. You're like, oh damn, now I'm here, now I'm in the show, or now whatever. You know what I mean? Like, opportunities to come. It's based on being a good person, and you know, this how you treat people. Yeah. So I would say for those guys who are not where they want to be and it's not ideal, you know, just keep that same positive energy every day. Be that good dude, because building those connections, you never know down the line. Like, you can have a good year, they don't want you. Hey, we heard from another guy that he's a great clubhouse, he's a great energy guy. We want you on my team. Right. Next thing you know, you're in the big leagues. Yeah. I've seen it happen. Like, dude leaves a team, goes to another team. Now you're in a show. He's like, bro, I would have never thought. Like, but you could have been an asshole, and it would never would have worked out. You know what I mean? So you got to keep your head on right. You know, just keep going. Put your head down, keep working, because it can always be worse. Always be worse.
Well, I want to get into the Futures Game experience a little bit. Change it up a little bit. Talk to me a little bit about that. You know, because it's in Cleveland. You're with the Guardians. Right. So, I mean, you're at your home field, you know, the field that you're hoping to play at in the future. Talk to me a little bit about taking that all in, you know, playing there, and then, you know, after initially finding out that you were going to be selected to play in that game. What was that all like? And
it's a funny story, because that was my first year in AAA in 19, and I was always off the break, and I was going off. So the manager comes to me, he was like, congratulations. I'm like, my first thought, like, I'm going to the show. I'm like, oh, like, I'm going to the show. So he's like, hey, congrats, you're going to the Futures Game. And I was like, all right. I mean, yeah, that's cool. But I was like, man, that ain't what I want to hear, but okay, like, I'm going. And I didn't even know where the All-Star Weekend was. I had no idea it was in Cleveland. So, I mean, I had just got traded there. That was my first year with the Guardians. So I had no idea where he was. I'm like, where's it at? He's like, it's in Cleveland. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. I'm like, okay, like I'm going. It's a hometown. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so get there and like, bro, like looking at it now, like I'm blessed to be selected that because like I was with the team, just got traded there. Like I was in a big trade, and then now I'm going to a Futures Game in Cleveland. Like I had no idea what it was gonna be like, but I get there and man, like I got to the hotel, pull up, and I get out of the car. They're like, oh, there's Jet, and it's just. Right, I'm like, can I get a sign? Can I get a picture? I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like I didn't know I had fans like this. Like, but that whole experience was crazy though. Like me having the celebrity game, meeting all celebrities like MGK, all of them. Who else was there? Jay Lorenzo was there. There was a bunch of guys that was there, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, and then they had like the home run derby thing, the All-Star game. I was there for all of those. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like it was dope. Like, it was a dope experience. I'll never forget that.
Would you put that at the top of your list as far as experiences throughout your career?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I had like the no sleeves and like but it's crazy because it was me and Jaron Durant. We were in the locker room, and we had like everybody had like little the little vest like with a gray shirt. And I'm like, I don't like this. Like, and Jaron was like, yo, what if we went like no sleeves? Because Natty had, I think who had did it.
Yeah,
Dietrich did it that same day, earlier that day. He did it in the game. I was like, yo, should we just do it? He was like, I don't know, my organization might be kind of weird about that. I was like, you know what? And he's a wrestler. I'm like, bro, I'm finna do it. He's like, really, you gonna do it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm DHing anyway. I'm not gonna be on the field. Like, I gotta get some kind of TV time, might as well. Right? So I did it, bro. I went to the training room. I got so much baby oil cocoa butter. I was like, I'm about to make this. You know what I mean? So,
a few push-ups.
Yeah, I was in there doing some moves. Like I'm okay. So I go out there. And I'm like, oh, these people are crazy. I'm going out the stretch, and they're like, yo, he ain't got no sleeves. And I had like no shirt. I was like jersey, and that's it. Like you can see my titties under the jersey. Like it was crazy. But I go back in after the game, and I'm trending on Twitter. Like they're like, yo, this dude savage. Like he really did it. Like so, it was dope though, bro. That was like at the top of my list probably as it experiences wise. That I mean, obviously debuting, but that's definitely the top of my list for sure.
That's dope.
That was dope.
I mean, we got a little sneak peek of your drip, and I know you're a big sneakerhead.
Oh yeah, man.
So, how many shoes do you even have?
I don't know.
Too many to count.
Yeah, I don't know. I think on the shoe wall, it's like 120, something like that. Yeah, and that's just all my fire stuff, like all that stuff that holds a lot of value. That's what I keep. I got shoes in my closet filled up, but I just don't even wear.
What are your top 3 favorites?
That's a tough question.
I'll say that you actually rep. That you actually wear out, yeah.
Okay, that's a lot that I don't wear. I got like Nike that I don't wear ever. I would say the Dornbecker 6s, navy blue ones. Chicago ones.
Classic.
Yeah, oh yeah. And let me see what else. I'm big ones.
Yeah.
Dude. I like some fours. Some fours though. Cactus Jack fours, off-white fours. I like those. I'd say my top pair though, I would like probably olive 9s. Okay. Because you never see them.
Never.
Like they ain't the most hyped shoe, but you never see olive 9s. Like, and only one people that really follow shoes that's an OG fitness shoe. Olive 9. So that's one of my top that I remember I got those shoes in 2015 in college, and I probably wore them 8 times. I don't want to mess them up. Because literally, you go to any shoe boutique store around here, you do not see all the 9s. I gotta keep them. So, but
now that we on shoes and fashion and stuff, we know you got your own brand.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Tell it kind of how it came about, maybe what you're trying to do, just how that's been. Because for me, I just started a brand, and it's been exciting for me to run kind of a business side. I never really for me, it's always been baseball. But I always in the back of my head had that creative side, whether it was going to be music or fashion or something like that. But it's cool to be able to express that and to kind of run a business. So let's hear from you, Do you handle the whole business?
Like,
Me and my boy do, yeah. But
Tell us about that experience, really.
so we had the GFB God Family Ball. That's something that me and JR have lived by like for a long time. It was just a GFB God Family Ball, like because we were so tunnel vision on like trying to make it in baseball, make it out of there. So it was like that was our like what got us out of bed. It was like, hey, GFB God Family Ball, let's do it. Like let's stick to this. And we always had like little hashtags, all like had like in our bios, all that we was really repping it or whatever. And one day, my girl Zil, she's a crazy artist. Like she one of those artists that like don't draw, but she's really good at it. She just don't really care. She just randomly okay, let me draw this real quick. You like
do it. You're like, why don't you draw?
you like this every day. What are you doing? Like she drew a logo.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like that's kind of fire. Like okay, like so we had the logo for like 2-3 years because she did it when I was in college because we ended up going to the same college. He transferred there. I'm like, damn, like, so I'm talking to JR after we got drafted. I'm like, bro, like, we gotta do something with it.
Yeah.
We never really did, but come quarantine, we had nothing else to do. Well, he was at home, cause he wasn't with an affiliate anymore, and I was in Cleveland playing the shortened season. So he hit me one day. He was like, yo, like, let's get some shirts made, whatever.
Yeah.
Cause he had so much time on his hands.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, so we did shirts. We did like fanny packs. We did all like so we got 100 shirts. We sold out in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. Like
That's fine.
so we got 200.
That's a good feeling
yeah.
too,
So then we got 200 shirts.
Yeah.
Like I want to say like a couple months later, sold out in like 4 days. Like so we started doing other stuff, but like the whole thing behind GFB for us, it was like at first we kind of tailored it towards baseball.
Right.
He was like, nah, I mean any athlete with a ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I think broader than that. Like, any career path you in, like, whatever you're doing, give it your 100%, ball at it. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't gotta be just ball like a sport. A, you trying to be a lawyer. A, ball at that. Give it your 100% best effort.
Right.
And see what happens.
Right.
You'll be an accountant. You're gonna be a chef. Hey, give it your ball at it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, ball at it. Give it your 100% best effort.
That's
And
sick.
see what happens.
That's
You know
fine.
what I mean? So that's kind of like our model behind it. Like, whatever you're doing, ball at it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, might as well. Don't half-ass it. What's the point? You're wasting your own time.
That's what I got going on with my brand. It's called 200 Club, and it's like basically, long story short, the 200 Club it just means to be fucking relentless. That's kind of what's behind it. And
About that tattoo on you, relentless.
yeah, I got it. So I got 200 Club right here. Means fucking relentless, and I started the same way. I'm like, yeah, it's that's what I say I say on the field when you going through something or whatever, blah blah. And then I'm like, nah, anyone could be relentless. Whether you're going through, for me, like mental health's a big thing. Like talking about everything, I'm like, that's a big thing, bro. You got to be relentless with your mental health. Like, day to day, people go through way worse things than I go through, and how can I have something that I use to get through stuff? Like maybe someone else can use it. You know what I mean? And so I think that's kind of what you're getting at with GFB. Like, you just ball with it. It don't matter if you play baseball, football, basketball, like whatever you do. These things we're all human beings. Like you said, we're all one.
Yeah.
Just because we use something for baseball or something like that don't mean we don't go through life challenges too and have to use the same experiences.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, I feel that.
You could talk about this too, Kai, but Jet, I know there's, a few things that, lead you to adapting a mindset like this. Or at what point in time did you say you kind of started realizing things like this and adapting that mindset of being fucking relentless and, doing whatever you're going to do it at 100%. When did you adapt that mindset? Was it after, a certain point in your career? Because there's been a lot of ups and downs like we've talked about on this pod so far.
Right.
Was there a certain point, or did you already have that pre-adapted mindset?
I mean, I kind of had that mindset just kind of coming up just because, like you're not when you were little, you're like, yo, it's the smallest one. You're like, oh, hell no, like, I can do that too. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I always kind of had that, like,
It's like built in.
like, yeah, kind of built to me like that. I'm gonna one up you because you think, okay, I can do it. And then when it got to the point where I was like, I started playing baseball and like people saying no, like I played for. There was so many teams that I like tried out for. They was like nah,
Right.
just kept telling me no. And then a couple years later, all the people that are on that team, like I passed, and I'm like, I could just keep doing this shit. Like, I mean, you know, so I'm like, why not have the same mindset? Because I'm getting this far. No telling what I could do in some years if I just keep doing what I'm doing. So for me, I had it once I got to the point where I started knowing I was getting good in baseball and stuff started happening because I was like putting that work in. I'm like, yo, I'm just keep the same mindset because I see I can do it right now. Like, ain't no telling what I could do. I'm probably scratching the surface right now, which I was.
Right.
So I mean, for me, that mindset came from me at an early age. I would say like high school. I was like, okay, like I'm about to try to be the best version of myself that I can ever be. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it came at a pretty early age. Like,
Yeah, I feel like you kind of talked about it earlier, like lesser man would have folded in a lot of your situations, right? And I feel the same way, like with the relentless thing, like not that I've really done anything, like I'm an A-ball, you know what I mean? Like I ain't gonna act like I've done anything, but I'm 5'8", white kid, like baseball player, like I ain't 6'8", running, whatever. For me to get here, it was like, yeah, there's a lot of different things that happened, but it was like I just wasn't gonna give up ever. Like that wasn't even in the equation of like you're gonna give up. And there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that you know, like you said, they make the teams. They're better than you in high school or something. But then you look now and it's like they ain't even playing no more, or they ain't whatever. And it's just because they folded in those situations. And like sometimes, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like sometimes it ain't even you're that much better than people. It's that you're just not going to give up when shit gets hard, bro. And some people will, and unfortunately. But it's like sometimes you don't even. People will beat themselves out. You just got to keep going, bro, no matter what.
the thing about it is like that point where you say, okay, I'm gonna just keep going. At that point, that person might be better than you.
Right.
But your mindset's just different. And then down the road, you like, okay, now I'm way better than you now because I put all this work in all the years. But like at that point, he probably still better than you.
Yeah.
But and no telling where he could have went if you'd had the same mindset you had. But over time, I mean, you start seeing like, damn, like, and then they like, damn, but this dude got good. Like, why not do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like it. But I mean, it's just how it is. Like, you know, that whole mindset. That's what I mean. You told yourself, look, we doing it. Like, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna see how good I can get. They think I'm not good. Okay, watch this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people get caught up in like, I've done it too. I've always been the smallest kid. You say you're undersized, like, damn, if I was this and this, if I was 6'5", or if I, you know, could do this and this, I would be in the big leagues right now, blah, blah, blah. But then the way I look at it now, going through what I've gone through is like, nah, I'm happy that things happened how it happened. If I was 6'5", I probably
Probably easier.
it would have been easy and I would have coasted. And then I'd probably be, you know, not doing this no more and whatever. Like, so it's like as much as there's kids out there, like I got some little brothers and, you know, he's getting older, getting into baseball, and his friends are like, yeah, he's just the smallest kid. Like, that's a blessing sometimes, bro. Sometimes it's a blessing to be the underdog. And like, you learn so much more that the other kids that are the biggest, I can't tell you how many times, bro, and I played a lot of travel ball in my life, like how many guys that were the greatest 13-year-old, 14-year-old players, what are they doing now? Like, and no disrespect to them, but they were 6 foot when they were 12 years old and they were the best, and they just stopped working. And sometimes it's just a blessing to be the underdog, bro. If you keep going, keep your head down, keep working. Like,
You see how much you really accomplish. Like, it's really almost like no limit. You just keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, and it's just funny because like I was saying, like I was always just like the smallest one. Like now, like looking at it now, going back home, like I'm the biggest one now. Like I outgrew everybody. Like I was like, ain't that funny how shit works? Like I was so worried about me being the smallest one. I was like, whatever, I'm just putting my head down. Now I look back and I'm the biggest one now. Like I'm like, damn, like what?
you talked about earlier too, having that vision when not everyone else saw it. Like that's real. Like even with this thing that we're doing or whatever it is, like not everyone's gonna see the vision. Sometimes I haven't even told really anybody about this because it's like I know not everyone's gonna see the vision, but when you can and you believe it,
But it's real, and that's what. Damn. But but that's like that's real because like it happens with everybody, and like people like try to deny it, like, but I'm like, especially like parents are like because they want the best for you, and they're gonna try to give you the advice they can to put you in that position because they want you to succeed, and they know, okay, this way I know that he can be successful. This is what I did, which is fine. Like I respect that 100%. I get it. I don't know what it's like to be a parent, so I can't really judge.
Yeah.
But whenever you start in something new or you have a vision and there's no output initially, people don't believe in you because they don't see it.
Right.
They have to be able to see it, like, and they're like, okay, he's doing it. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't see it, they don't give a fuck.
Right.
Respectfully, they don't give a fuck. They don't.
No.
So I remember to this day, my mom was like, love you, mom, she sees this. But I was driving, and I think I had ripped a pair of jeans, whatever. I was supposed to go get a new pair of jeans, but my boy was like, you want to work out? And I hit, I'm like, hell yeah. So I went to go hit whatever, and my mom was like, you supposed to go get some pants, you want to hit some damn balls. I'm like, damn, like I was working out. She's like, you need some pants, like, fuck working out. I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to do this baseball. What do you mean? She was like, but I mean, at that point, she just didn't see it. I mean, her not being in sports, but she just didn't really see it because there wasn't any output at that time. It was just me in high school.
Right.
But now she's seeing it, she's like, damn, like, okay, like, what he was doing back then, I see why he was the way he was because look at it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at that point in time, when you by yourself, because really by yourself, this is your vision. If you can get past that point where you say fuck everybody else, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Bro, you can accomplish so much stuff. Like you can go
Powerful,
far.
bro.
It's powerful because now you betting on yourself, believing in yourself. Now you're testing your own limits
Yeah.
because you don't have no support from nobody really.
Yeah.
Now you're going. So
What was that like? Kind of circling back a little bit. What was that like growing up? Just like I've had it before. Like grew up in a school where like not everyone's gonna see it, and it's like, how were you able to separate yourself and not obviously like I was cool with everybody in high school. Like, hey man, like you know, you do your thing, I'll do mine. But at the end of the day, like I'm gonna do this thing. I know you might not see it yet, but like, nah, sorry, bro, I can't go with you tonight. Like, I'm going for something. You know what I mean? How was that growing up? Like, I know you said you had your boy that you kind of took with you, and I had my friend JD. Like, he would always, I could call him, let's go work, let's go hit.
So
what was that like though? Like you said, sometimes you're on your own. Like,
yeah, I was alone. I was isolated a lot. Like I was a guy that was cool with everybody at school too. Like I had my boys. Like, and even then they was kind of like sometimes like, yo, like why you ain't come to the party? Like I'm good. I don't want to. Like, I want to go work out. I want to like YouTube like baseball stuff. I'd rather just do that. So I was like, those Friday nights, this weekend, everybody's going out partying whatever in high school, which probably was probably fun as hell. I just didn't do it. Like I was at home by myself. Like I was isolated a lot. Like, but for me, it wasn't hard because I was kind of like almost okay with it. I was like, all right, like it is what it is. Like, I'm not tripping. But I mean,
it's like you gotta be okay with being different.
Yeah.
Like that was for me. Like I said, like I went to a school. A lot of shit went down. Right. Like we went to public school.
Right, exactly.
It happens.
Exactly.
I've seen it all. But in the back of your head, you're like, I'm okay with being different. Like I don't need to be I was popular, like, you know, whatever. I don't need to be the dude though, because I know 5 years from now, this is where I want to be, type thing. And there's some lonely nights sometimes, and some like, it takes some discipline. There's some loneliness, but I think like once you see that, once you commit to it, you're like okay with it.
I was so fine with it. I knew I was like, look, I'm gonna just do this. Like, I'm getting good at baseball. I'm gonna just keep, you know, not running and beat it. I'm just keep doing it. Like, and I mean, I was kind of okay with being. Now, I mean, I sacrificed a lot in high school. I didn't drink, smoke.
Right.
I didn't go to parties, nothing. Like, I just didn't want to do it.
Right.
And I think kind of mostly I was kind of shy sometimes too. Like the social thing, I was like, nah, I'm good. Hell no, I'm going to the house. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, I was really like okay with it, and like I had people telling me sometimes like in school, like, because there's some guys who are better than me in baseball at the time. They always are.
Right.
It's like you're not getting a scholarship. Like you're not. No, there's no way. And I just always laugh like, okay, like we'll see. Like, but some of those guys that said that, like I don't even talk to them now. Like, I mean, it's cool. I don't. It's love. I don't really care. That was back then, but like I think for them it's kind of like some kind of guilt because like they know I remember them saying that, and they're like, damn, like I can't root for them now. Like I said, I talked all that shit in high school. I can't, you know.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the same way with you too. Like oh damn, I can't.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say to them? Oh, I knew you was gonna make it the whole time. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah. I mean, I was kind of okay with that being different back then. But I mean, I'm glad that I sacrificed that then to be right
For
now.
something,
Like,
right.
yeah, because now I can do this and have fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of went hand in hand. I mean, yeah, I'm not doing it right now, but I'll have fun at some point.
Yeah.
When I do, I'm gonna have fun.
That's really, I guess, what I'm getting at. Like, yeah. We both, don't get me wrong, we've been in Old Town. Like, we've done it, you know what I mean? And whatever. But it's like, you're going to have your fun. Like, if you, in high school, like, there's a lot of things going on. Just wait, like, you can have a lot of fun. You can do whatever. You can be popular, but, like, understand that the fun you're going to have down the road when you can have fun with people that are like-minded, too. Like,
Exactly.
hey, we're going to have fun tonight, but by the way, we're also going to work out tomorrow too, but you better be there type thing.
Right.
And that is way more fun than in high school where it's just like free-for-all type, a lot of bullshit, you know what I mean? And I think for kids that they can understand that the light at the end of the tunnel type of thing, like we're not saying you can't have fun. We're not saying you can't do this and this.
Right.
Just understand that fun is what you make it, bro.
Right. Yeah.
For me,
Just
like,
priorities. Like,
fun was going to the cage, being able to wake up early in the morning and work out where my boys couldn't because they were still hungover and shit. Like
having a good workout, you're like, ooh, I had a good workout. I hit some balls hard. Like I did that. Like let's do it again tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like you fall in love with that.
And there's a difference. Like I'll say, like I went through some times where I first got to Oregon State. I started like partying a little bit. It was my first time I was out of the house, like, and I had some workouts where I was like, I just got to get through this workout. So, I went out last night. I got to get through this workout and everything will be good. And now I'm looking at it like, damn, I missed out on. So, like, now it's like, I'm excited to get a good workout in because there's so many benefits. I wish I would have done that younger, but like you said, it all happens for a reason. You learn as the journey goes. But yeah, man, it's just, if that light at the end of the tunnel, bro, it's always better at the end. Like,
yeah, it just goes back to like I was saying earlier, you can grind, it's grind and all that, but also when you go through that process of that, like, enjoy it.
yeah.
Like, I'm not saying go out there and act that ass, but like, enjoy it. You know
There's
what I
a
mean? Like,
balance.
enjoy it. Yeah, it's a balance, it's priorities. Like,
Yeah.
I'm having my fun, but I'm having fun because of this.
Right.
Like, what I'm doing now is allowing me to have this fun. So you can't forget that because the moment you forget it, that's when you start spiraling. It's like, oh shit, I'm having fun, but like, yeah, why'd you get there in the first place?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I will say though, like, what I learned, like, going through everything I went through, I mean, and still going through stuff now, and still growing, like, I always gotta look back and like, remember like what you like accomplished. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to forget what you did because you're so focused on like, I wanna be better. Because think about it, you see the Jose Ramirez's, you see the Bryce Harper's who get all these contracts. You want that too. Right. We all want that. And it's not greedy. You're just not satisfied.
Right.
You wanna keep going, keep getting it. But then you gotta look back and like, yo, like, yeah, I want. And sometimes you start to the point where you're not satisfied. You start getting like beating yourself up. It's like, bro, like, think about where you are right now. Like, I got to the big leagues. Like, only 20,000 players got to the big leagues. And there's millions of baseball players that are playing right now and are still playing or coming up, about to start playing. Like, I'm one of 27,000 people. Like, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
If it's all said and done, like, I accomplished that, which people, that's like less than 1% that did that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so for your peace of mind and also like, just for your mental health, like, always look back and see how far you came because. This motherfuckers, so like how we trying to chase those Harpers and this motherfuckers that's trying to chase our position right now.
Right.
I can tell you right now, more than I can count on my hand, people would kill to be in my position right now, would kill to be like what I'm doing right now. Would drop everything like, okay, I'll be there tomorrow type shit.
Right.
So I always look back and like, okay, damn, like, yeah, I want to strive and get more, but like look where I'm at. Like I have no worries. I'm
Yeah.
good.
There's that
And
balance.
it can always be worse. I can be in somebody else's shoes tomorrow. They like I said, they will kill to be in this position right now.
Right.
Off the $300 million contract, they would kill to just be right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always good to self-reflect and look back and see how far you really came, because you look back, you accomplished a lot. I accomplished a lot. You accomplished a lot. You've accomplished a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's real key. You definitely got to do that.
It's that balance of like, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I battled that a lot. So I'm the same way. I always wanted more. Like, hey, we did this. All right, we ain't done, type of thing. And that's so good to have that. But it's also, like you said, like, you're going to just wear yourself down at the end of the day where, like, even outside of baseball in life, like, when's it going to be enough? When are you going to be, like, enough? When are you going to have enough money? When are you going to have enough girls? When are you going to have, like, never. You'll never have enough if you have that mindset.
Exactly.
And the more you can learn like that, at least for me, the more I've learned to, like, step back and look at it from a bigger lens and be grateful. It's like, one, it makes you go harder when you're grateful. It makes you like, wow, I have all this stuff. Like, I got no excuse but to go hard. But it also puts in perspective, like, yeah, man, I don't need to be beating myself up so much. Like,
Don't, bro. Like I remember I was in my house one day and I was sitting there chilling. And I got the big like open windows like this.
Yeah.
Like I'm over the street. I'm looking. I'm like watching cars go by. I'm just laughing. Like I'm over here beating myself up. I got a fucking high-rise condo right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking over the street right now.
right?
Like
Yeah.
come on, man. People are trying to figure out how they're gonna pay rent every month. Like I'm over here with a condo just sitting there chilling. Like you know, I want to get that. Why don't I have that? Why don't I have that, man?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, I still do it every now and then because I mean, it's just mindset. I mean, I'm so used to going, and then getting more. Like, but I mean, it just takes time for me to have to really reflect. I reflect a lot. Like, talk to myself all the time. I mean, you know, just reflecting. And then now I feel like I'm like in a better headspace.
Yeah.
You know, not that I'm satisfied, but like, I'm okay with where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Do I want more? Of course, all do. But I'm not mad about where I'm at right now. What I've already accomplished so far, I'm not mad at that. I can enjoy this position in my life right now.
Right.
That's kind of like the point I'm at right now is like, I mean, you guys have obviously been through so much more than me and have way more experiences than me, but I'm kind of at the point in my life where I'm like, I mean, I've done nothing with the podcasting shit when you compare me to Joe Rogan and the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul. So I'm always like looking forward, trying to do more. But you're right. I mean, both of you guys, you know, hit the hammer on the head of the nail. But sometimes I have to step back and realize, like, I mean, I'm a freshman in college and I'm sitting here with you two.
Exactly.
And I think that is so key to like have the ability to step back, or else it's going to be grind, and you're just fucking yourself up.
Right. The thing about it is like when you start looking at the future and where you want to be at, it's gonna fuck you up because you're okay. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do that to get there. Really, just take that one step to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. It's just like step a day.
Right.
In a month, you like, damn, I accomplished that much in a month. Like, but you just focus on like the now and what you can reach. You can't reach the future. You just
That's been
because the thing about it is like you can say, oh, I want to have 100,000 subscribers by so and so.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, and that's ambition in you. Like you want to, which is fine, but it's also like trying to have that goal. And when you see that you're not reaching it, that you're like going a different way, it's like fuck. Like you think you fucking up, but you're not. Like it's just because think about it, it's like maybe how you want it to be set up. Like in the future, it might not even work out that way. It might go somewhere totally different, but you still reach it. You know what I mean? Like so. For the peace of mind, like just for me, staying in the now and only getting what you could reach, like one step a day. Okay, you got me on here. Well, let's get so here next time, and then next day let's get so and so. Fuck whatever happens, it's gonna come at some point anyway. So let's just keep stepping stones. Now you watch them in 4 or 5 months. You gonna fucking have Bellinger, you gonna fucking have Mookie Betts. You're like fuck. You know what I mean? Like. Would have never thought.
Yeah.
But you wasn't focused on trying to go out and get it. You just let it happen. You went with the flow.
Yeah.
And watch it come.
I wish I did that differently last year because, I mean, I swear to God, it was like December 31st of, what was it, 2021. I had set end of the month goals for followers, subscribers, listeners, monthly, when in reality, like you just said, I should have focused on what I could have done to get there, being more consistent with the content. And to kind of like compare that to your guys' side, oh, sure, I want to finish with the 300 batting average by the end of the season. When in reality,
That'll never happen if that's your goal.
exactly. When in reality, your guys' focus is on, what I can do today, how much time I can put in the cages today to get to that level.
Right.
And I mean, that's fact.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cause it's like, man, with anything you're doing, it's like you can be like, oh, every day focus on my subscribers. Like, fuck, I only got 12. I need to get 15 by the night. Like, instead of just content, putting it out and actually enjoying the work. Watch the subscribers just come in. Next thing you like, oh, I got 100. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just keep doing the content, whatever. Next thing you know, I got 500. You like, fuck. But you're not even worried about it. You're more worried about the content and actually enjoying what you're doing. And that's the point. Because I read a book, it's called Psychology of Money. And this dude was already a millionaire. But he had that greedy mindset. Like, he was trying to get more all the time. So I guess it was like an announcement that he had overheard an announcement saying that Warren Buffett was going to give X amount of money to a bank. So when he does that, it makes the stock market, like stocks start, going up and down, whatever. So he heard that, whatever. He bought in at some stock, whatever, because he overheard it. And then you can't do that. That's like a crime.
Yeah.
Because you kind of
Insider trading.
Exactly. So he did that, made millions, whatever. They found out, took everything away from him.
Yeah.
He has nothing. Like, he went to jail, lost all his money. When in reality, if he would have just stopped being so greedy at that point in time, he already had millions.
Right.
He was chilling. He had more than he could ever ask for.
Yeah.
But being greedy, do that one thing now, spiral effect.
Yeah. That's what.
Crazy.
Like, even going back to what we were talking about, like, I'm big in the books, like crazy. But there's a book, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. That's a big one for me. That was kind of like what got me on the wave, and that's why we're calling this podcast The Wave. Is like, to me, the wave is just like this path, like this little vibration, this wave that you're on. And this book set me on the wave because one of the laws or chapters is the law of detachment, and it's like some people call it, hippie guru, whatever type shit. But like, if you look at, there's people that I was listening to Jocko Willink. I don't know, like he's a Navy SEAL.
Okay.
He's talking about the same thing. You're talking about like this one author who wrote a book, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. He's probably, like one type of person. And then you got a Navy SEAL, bald head jiu-jitsu fighter talking about the same thing. There's common ground, you know what I mean? And basically what I'm saying is they're talking about once you detach from the result of what you're looking for, that's when the results start flowing towards you.
Enjoy the process of it. Yeah.
Detach from what you're wanting, obviously you can have goals, you can have aspirations, but when you're so driven and attached, like life or death to that,
So you want it fucks you up.
you squeeze it too hard and you fuck it up, and then you fuck up everything around. It could be your relationships, it could be, your relationship with your parents, your girl, whatever it may be, just because you're squeezing this thing too hard.
You want to enjoy that process as much because you just want that result so damn bad.
Once you realize that it, like you said, it's about putting your head down in the process, like you enjoy that and that's all you're concerned about. And then you look up and you go, oh shit, I did it. Like I did what I wanted to do in the first place. And that's kind of like the sauce that I figured out, is like just detach from that end result. You can have the goal, but worry about what you're doing today. That's all you can control. Yeah.
Because you can do everything in your power, and you still won't get those 100K subscribers by that point, or by your deadline.
It ain't up to you. It's up to the people that wanted to subscribe. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's just
can't control
you
that.
Can't control that. The only thing you can control is putting out the content, or working out, or doing whatever the case may be, whatever your profession is. Just enjoying that process of doing that, because that's when all the shit comes out for you.
Yeah.
That's when it all comes.
Yes, sir.
I have one last thing, Jet.
Yeah.
I want to talk recruitment before we let you get out of here. You talked about emailing tons of college coaches,
Right.
continuously never getting responses. Emailing schools and not getting responses, being so pissed and, mad at them. But you're happy about how it turned out. Talk a little bit about, the shift in the recruiting process from, when you were getting recruited to, seeing it now with social media and the power of that.
Oh man, I wish I would have had that social media back then. Like I remember when, I think my junior year, Instagram had just got created. I was in high school, so like if I'd have had that now, oh my god, it's like a cheat code now. You know, you can put videos up everywhere. Everybody got social media. If they don't, they probably lying. They got it, like something.
Right.
So, yeah, back when I was in high school, bro, like it's been like the recruit process was basically just videos of you, what they come to see you. It wasn't really no social media to really put a platform to people or coaches to really see you other than you making yourself known to them. So like like I said, I would email. I probably emailed every coach in the United States. Like I swear to God. And thing about I think I only received like 30 emails back. Like it wasn't even out of all those that I emailed, like 30 back, and just all saying the same kind of thing.
Right.
Like, but it definitely changed a lot from then and now. But I will still say for the kids who are from the areas where I'm from, who weren't getting that love from those scouts and not coming to the games, like still market yourself.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm telling you, like the moment you market yourself and put yourself out there, like you make connections. Like you don't even know it. Like they keep seeing you. Like, damn, this kid keep putting this video out there. Well, let me go see him, man.
Right.
Let me go see him play. They go see him play. Like, oh damn, like this is him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, hey, next scout, like we got this kid. That kid that's into the video. Go watch him play. Like
Right.
he might be interested. You know what I mean? Like, so I would say to this day, like with the resources that the kids have now, definitely continue marketing yourself, because the recruitment process. I mean, it get a little greedy sometimes. Like, I mean, everybody can't go to one school, everybody can't go where they want to go. But I mean, you market yourself like that, you'd be amazed as to who sees it or who you could meet from it. You know what I mean? Like, or what can happen from you doing that.
Yeah. Last thing, bro, like even like you said, like that, like force their hand, whether it's in the big leagues or you trying to get to a school and you're in high school, like force their hand.
Yes.
Like there's no shame in if this is really what you want to do, like, and you decided it's your obsession. Like there's no shame in emailing every school in the country, or there's no shame in asking questions. Like people are gonna respect you for how bad you want it. And so I think, I know it is scary to, like, when you're in high school, I know it is scary to type in the coach of whoever it may be, Tennessee, and email them. That might be scary.
You think there's no way.
But what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
You're in the same position you're in right now.
Exactly. So why not just do it?
There's no shame in it, and that's the sauce, bro. Like, just putting it out there. And the
I
worst
can't
thing
tell you how many times, like, people I went to high school with, they text me or call me now or message me now, like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, when we was in high school, like, I saw, like, how different you weren't different, but, like, how your focus was, like, it was just different, like, there was something about you that was just different, like, you didn't really care about what everybody else thought. And seeing you now, like, it all makes sense. Like, I get calls, texts every day like that. Like, bro, like, I really, like, I almost, like, envy how you were, like, because that's crazy. You didn't give a damn about none of that. And look at you now. Like, you surpassed so many people, like, just doing your own thing, keeping your head down. Like, you were humble about it. You weren't cocky about it. You just did your own thing.
Being
Like, man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy how, like, the what's the word? Tables turn. Like, it's just,
Yeah, just be true to yourself. See what happens. That's felt, bro. You get it.
I think that was one of the
That
best.
was fire.
One of the best first episode guests.
Yeah, man. We, God, if anyone's made it this far in the episode, God bless you. But his Uber broke down. Our venue we were supposed to be at, there's a birthday party at. But we appreciate you supporting it, bro. Sorry,
appreciate you having me. For sure.
It says a lot about you. It's our first thing, and you just, you put your belief in it. You supporting us. We'll remember that for sure. So, appreciate you being on. We'll stay in touch for sure.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully link up soon.
Yes,
That
sir. Appreciate
episode
y'all.
was exquisite.
Oh yeah, it's been exquisite. And so